Tiferet, the third layer, allows you to go beyond yourself. Welcome to Jewish Meditation with Rabbi G. We are currently in the fourth of our new series, Kabbalistic Emotional Training, exploring and refining the 7 emotional layers of our soul. So today we have a look at the third emotion. The first week was Chesed, which includes everything that is expansive, connecting, kindness, compassion, going out of myself, beyond myself, to expand to other things. There can be good Chesed and bad Chesed, as we explained. Last week we went to the primary emotion of Gevura, which is the opposite, holding back, rejection, aggression, but can be self-discipline, self-control, holding back when necessary for the purpose of kindness in a good way. Today we have a look at the third one, which is very important. In Kabbalah, we talk about the triangles of the soul. Chesed is on the right, Gevura is on the left, but Tiferet is in the middle. And that middle line is extremely deep and important. So let's understand this. There are people who have a greater disposition to Chesed. That's a personality thing. Then there are those that are more disposed to Gevura. So they're more rigid, they're more disciplined, they're more in self-control, and so on. So the mission, the challenge, or the opportunity for people who have these various personalities is not necessarily to change their personality, but to channel it from the negative to the positive, to make sure that our Chesed is good Chesed, or make sure that our Gevura is good Gevura. But the truth is that true growth, to really grow, to really refine ourselves, and particularly during these special weeks of the Omer, and this is the third week of the Omer now, when we get into the real growth, true growth means actually not just channeling or refining what is already our natural disposition or our natural personality, but rather going beyond our personality. And this is the greatness and uniqueness of the human being. At the core of our soul is infinity. Our core of our soul is a pure godly infusion, as we've explained many times, which gives us the power of purity, the power of growth, but even greater, the power to be infinite, which means to go beyond our definition. And we find that is the true meaning of growth, because to remain stuck, even in a good way, in our disposition. I'll give you an example. Someone who's very kind, someone who's really a kind, compassionate, empathic person, a real chesed gem of a human being, but nevertheless finds it difficult to be efficient, finds it difficult to sometimes, even if they only use the chesed for good things, but find it difficult sometimes to meet a deadline or to come on time, or to parent effectively, because they're always giving in to their children. Their personality doesn't allow them not to give. So eventually you land up doing something wrong, spoiling your child, giving something to someone that is inappropriate. Because true growth means that we have to, when necessary, call into action, call into our personality that which is not part of our natural disposition. It's not part of our natural personality. So the real chesed of a human being, that person's challenge will be to sometimes withhold something from their child, not to spoil them, for example. To do things that are against our personality, to do things that are transcendent, to free ourselves from ourselves. That's the true meaning of real growth. That no matter what type of personality you are, but to be able to use one or the other when necessary, or even better, the ability to join them together, which is the meaning of the word Tiferet. Tiferet actually means beauty or synthesis. And Kabbalah teaches us, for example, if you have a garment that's one color, it can be a beautiful garment, but it's only one color. But when you have many colors together that blend beautifully and match each other, you create real beauty. A soul instrument can play very beautifully, but when you have an orchestra of many instruments together, play in sync, synthesize with each other, it's symphonic, it's beautiful. So let's give an example of good Tiferet. There is bad Tiferet, because the word Tiferet could just mean empty haughtiness, when one self, like narcissism, when we just self-grandize, thinking that we're just beautiful, and there's an emptiness of beauty that we just walk around delusionally in our head with. That's very bad Tiferet. But Tiferet can be an incredibly good thing. And Tiferet means to go beyond ourselves in the most amazing way. Let's give an example. The following is a very simple example. Obviously, it's much more complex and layered than this, but just for purposes of explaining, let's give an extremely simple example. You walk in the street, and a homeless person who obviously hasn't eaten for a while, approaches you and says, please, can I have $15, $10? The chesed person, the person who's just imbued with complete chesed and compassion and empathy, just can't say no and just gives the guy the $10. The gevura person right away says, I think you're probably going to, maybe there's a danger, and a legitimate danger maybe, that person might use the $10 just from the way you see the person and assess the person for something inappropriate, maybe for substance which can be very harmful to themselves. Has no problem just saying, no, forget it, get a life. What does the Tiferet person do? The Tiferet person says, it's got nothing to do with what I want, whether I'm easy to say no or hard to say no. It's got to do with what's the right thing. What do I need to do? What is the call of the hour? Call of the hour, of course, is to protect that person from self-harm. And the call of the hour is also to provide for that person and show kindness and empathy. So the Tiferet person says to the person, no, I won't give you $10, but come. Let's go across the road to the cafeteria. I'll buy you a sandwich and a drink so you won't be hungry. That's Tiferet. Now that's a simple example, but there's something very deep here. And the depth is like this. Even good chesed, or even good gevura, when it's done by a chesed person or a gevura person, at the end of the day, it's an expression of themselves. It's a good version of themselves. It's a very good version of themselves. It could be a kind version or a holy version or a disciplined version, and it accomplishes good things, but it's still the person coming from what I am. I'm still doing what I want. So if I'm an organized person and I organize myself to do good things, but it's still me. I haven't gone beyond myself. If I'm a kind person and use it to provide for people and to help people in need, it's still me. It's very good, and we should certainly do that, but it's still me. I haven't demonstrated the true ability of growth. In Kabbalah, chesed is often called emet, truth, because what it signifies is the ability to bring those two opposites together. Means that most people have a personality that is disposed to one or the other. But emet means I don't look at what I want to do. I don't look at expressing my emotion, even in the most holiest and great way. I look to do what is correct to do, what is the right thing to do, even if it means going beyond myself. So the layer of emotion, which is complete transcendence, where I'm able to transcend myself and to truly grow, is Tiferet. And that's focusing on what needs to be done. Same thing with parenting, for example. Same thing in every relationship. A parent can be very kind, but they're kind to the point where they destroy the child because they're always being so kind and beautifully disposed towards the child, but sometimes it's inappropriate. There's never saying no. There's never boundaries. Or you can have the gevura parents who just is very strict, creates huge boundaries, but doesn't show the warmth, doesn't show the kindness when necessary. Again, equally destructive to the child. The Tiferet person says, you know what, it's just not about me. It's about what is correct. What am I going to do? That is the correct thing to do. In this moment, is it chesed or is it gevura? Or is it both together? I'm going to do what I need to do, not what I want to do. That's real growth. I always tell people parenting is really a form of personal growth. But the truth is not just parenting, it's every relationship. Sometimes it's appropriate to show boundaries. Sometimes it's appropriate, or like respect, which is more sort of giving person space. Sometimes about love. But it's about what is the right thing to do, what's going to work, what's going to be beneficial for the other person, not what I am disposed and I want to do. That's the third week of the Omer, is to work on real growth, Tiferet, transcending beyond our own personal dispositions, even good ones, and doing what is the correct thing to do. Transcending my own ego, my own self, even in subtle ways, and really growing beyond myself. So that takes a lot of power, it takes a lot of thinking and internalizing. So let's try and do that for a few moments. As always, just relax and try to become focused. Close your eyes if that helps. And just breathe and pay attention. In and out. If your mind wanders, just gently bring it back. Just focus on the rhythm of life. And perhaps just try to go a bit deeper by breathing abdominally deeply and then slowly letting go. Feeling the lungs full with air and then the sensation of letting go. Remembering that breath, neshama, is our soul, neshama. Breathing in, connecting to your neshama, being aware of the 7 layers of emotion. We all have those 7 layers, but sometimes one layer is more dominant than the other. Creating a personality, a chesed personality, a gevura personality, a personality of one over the other. But even the good traits are still me, still leaving me stuck in who I am, with a lack of transcendence. Now breathe fairly deeply and connect deeper. Remember the core of your soul, the pure spark, the infusion of the divine. The source of growth and infinity. The ability to transcend ourselves, even the good self. To grow beyond who we are. Tiferet, creating beauty. Combining chesed and gevura, engaging in whatever is the truth, whatever is godly, whatever is moral, whatever is correct. The power to be infinite, beyond who we are, to what we need to be doing and feeling. The layer of Tiferet takes us to the core of who we are. Freeing ourselves from ourselves. Connecting to the infinite. Connecting to God. Morality. Truth. No matter what personality I have. This is the week of Tiferet, working on being focused on what we need to do and not what we want to do. Something to really live with and work on, the harder part of the 3, but the one that creates beauty and infinity. Have a wonderful day.